It's Tuesday, June 20th, and I am Angela, and you are listening to Divinely Connected. I am here with your daily message. Now, there's so much to today's energy. Okay, one, we are optimizing our organizational skills. We are leaning into our power. It's like we got everything on a timeline. We got this list. We got it, we got plans. We got plans, we got to-do lists, and we're really kind of getting things done. That's the type of energy that's coming in. So you're really in a space where you're able to knock out of the park what you're working on. So this is a great time to take care of that task, to tackle that to-do list, to go ahead and start this project or maybe finish up a project, etc. There's just really this maximized energy of efficiency coming in with this sense of take charge and organizational energy connected to it. Now, where it gets a little confuffly, there does seem to be what is this? So there seems to be, okay, let's say complications connected to relationships. Now, this feels like a relationship that we need to kind of watch ourselves with, right? So that usually means one of authority or a professional relationship, or maybe it's like with your in laws and you wouldn't talk to them like you would talk to like your straight connections or your own family. So there is that feeling of how am I going to communicate this? Like, how am I going to feeling as though I can't say exactly what I want to say, right? So interpret that, use your own intuition, interpret that as you will, that it's connected to you. And what's interesting is they're saying like, listen, we understand that you feel like your hands are tied, but your hands are not tied. You are tying your hands. So if you're feeling like, there's limitations, or, this is going to be, I can't say what I want to say or do what I want to do, or however this comes in, they're saying like, this is an illusion. This is a sense of, limiting beliefs. There's a belief around this that is dictating how you're going to move through with this. And honestly, it doesn't feel great, right? It doesn't feel great. So there is a sense of going, okay, well, if I can say whatever I want, let's do it. Let's do it. Listen, you can say anything with the proper delivery, right? And there is this feeling. So there is this feeling of, like the card itself says, the illusion of entrapment, a lack of self confidence that makes you feel helpless, being afraid to take action. Take responsibility for your life now. And that is just it in a nutshell. You feel as though I can't say or ask or put a boundary in place or be truthful or honest with this person. Um, but yes, you can. You can do whatever you want, right? And I think that this is so important. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to be reckless. That doesn't mean we're not going to have tact. That's not what this message is. But how many times are we in a situation where we show up and we just slap a fake smile on our face and we don't want to ruffle feathers and we don't want to say this and we are depleting ourselves. We are not honoring ourselves in the way that we deserve. And when we diminish ourselves or when we feel as though we cannot be authentic, we take a little bit from ourselves. And this is where the sense of encouragement is coming in and saying, you can say, I have the right to be my true authentic self. I have the right to communicate my needs and the desires in the ways that I have them. There is nothing wrong with how I feel. There's nothing wrong with what I want, right? And so it is the sense of delivery. And if somebody reacts poorly to your respectful delivery, that is on them. That is on them, right? And so many times we're more upset walking away from a situation or experience like this because we didn't honor ourselves or we felt like we couldn't be our true self, right? So there is this feeling of don't be the one to box yourself in, right? And oftentimes we will forget that we have the power over ourselves because we have been conditioned through the decades that we have been in this life form to defer to authority, to show up and shut up, to not cause waves, to not be difficult, do not be nasty, right? And by being truthful and honest and just your true self, You are not those things, right? So don't be the one in a world that tries to tell you who to be. Don't be cutting yourself down first, right? Give yourself permission to show up in whatever way that you need to in that moment. Understand that we can't control anybody outside of ourselves, right? So, how people react to our authenticity, that's a them issue, right? And just because we ask for respect doesn't mean that that's what we're going to get. Also, doesn't mean that that's not what we deserve, right? Everybody deserves to be respected here in this life form. Okay, so there is just this feeling. The awareness is, yeah, I see the communication. The communication is relatively important. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like, okay, yes, but the message really coming through is in a world that is constantly trying to dim us. Don't be the first one to dim yourself. Right? Don't even be on that list. Right? So there is this self-awareness needing to move forward and go on. Anytime you feel like, oh, I can't do that or oh, I can't say that, go, well, who's telling me this? Right? Where's this coming from? Can I? Right? So again, this awareness is just really saying, okay, we're talking about liberation here, and we're talking about those limiting beliefs and this feelings of entrapment, but who's entrapping you? We want to make sure that's not ourselves. We want to make sure that we're not doing it to ourselves. All right. So take that, think about it, bring that awareness and just throw it in the little back of your head throughout the day. And as hear yourself saying, oh, I can't do this or I shouldn't do that, or go, but who's so who? Why? Why am I saying this? Where is this coming from? Can I really not do it? Is it actually really not for my highest good? Right. Or am I just keeping myself small? All right. Come back tomorrow for your daily message.